The US Open draw was released yesterday, and so after spending hours working out percentages, staring at statistics, and making decent looking graphics, here is my draw breakdown. What I will be doing in this video is going through each quarter of the draw for the men's side. Unfortunately, despite spending hours collecting data, I don't have time to do the women's draw, but I will put my quarterfinal picks down in the comments. In each quarter, I will go through each seeded player, revealing some basic and useful statistics to help you work out your picks for the title. These stats are including results up to the quarterfinals of Cincinnati. Following this, for each quarter I will state a dark horse, an upset alert, and a popcorn match. A dark horse is an unseeded player that could go deep within the tournament. An upset alert is a seeded player that may lose in the opening rounds. And finally, a popcorn match is simply an exciting first round matchup that you may not expect so early in the tournament. After all this, I will reveal my quarterfinal picks and announce who I believe will win the title. Now, in the first quarter, the seeds are Novak Djokovic, Jan-Lennard Struff, Pablo Carreño Busta, John Isner, Denis Shapovalov, Taylor Fritz, Filip Krajinovic, and David Goffin. Novak Djokovic is 21-0 this season, with 7 top 10 wins. His hardcourt win percentage overall is 84.9%, and Grand Slam win percentage is 87%. His best result this season is his Australian Open title, and best result at the US is his 3 wins. Struff is 8-6 with just the 1 top 10 win and a 47.2 hardcourt win percentage. His Grand Slam win percentage is 36.6, with the best result of the season being his quarterfinal at Dubai, but most recently his quarterfinal at Cincinnati. He has managed to make it to only the 3rd round of the US Open. Pablo Carreño Busta has a 7-6 win-loss record this season with 0 top 10 wins and a 54.6 win percentage on hard courts, with a 56.9 win percentage at slams, and a best result this year being a semi-final at Rotterdam. The furthest he has gotten in the US is a semi-final. John Isner is 9-8 with 0 top 10 wins, a 62.9 hardcourt win percentage and Grand Slam win percentage, making 2 semis at Acapulco and Auckland this year. He has made a quarterfinal at the US. Denis Shapovalov has 5 wins and 8 losses, with 2 top 10 wins this year. His record on hard courts is 58%. And 52.2% at slams, with 2 quarters this year and a personal best being the 4th round at the US Open. Taylor Fritz is 8-7 with no top 10 wins. He has a 50.4 win percentage on hard courts and 40% at slams. His best result this year came in Acapulco, where he made the final, and his best at the US Open was a 3rd round. Filip Krajinovic is 12-6 with 1 top 10 win. He has a 53% hardcourt win percentage and 30% at slams. His best result are 2 semis in Rotterdam and Montpellier, with a 2nd round at the US. And finally, David Goffin, who is 9-6 with 1 top 10 win this year. He has a 61.2 hardcourt win percentage and is 64.3 at slams. His best result this year came in Montpellier, where he reached the semi-final, and his best in the US was a 4th round. My dark horse in this quarter is Soonwoo Kwon, a young South Korean player who could meet Shapo in the 2nd round. Within his section of the draw are a few players who haven't shown consistency as of yet, and so if caught cold, Kwon should be able to take advantage. My upset alert is for Taylor Fritz, who in the 2nd round could meet Gilles Simon, who has the slightly better stats this season and the more experience at slams, as well as the better stats in the very fast and fast courts. My popcorn match is Goffin vs Opelka in the opening round. Opelka has shown us what he's capable of in Cincinnati. Unfortunately, getting what I believe was a knee injury, so we'll have to look out for that. In the second quarter, the seeds are Stefanos Tsitsipas, Borna Coric, Dusan Lajovic, Christian Garin, Diego Schwartzman, Hubert Hurkacz, Adrian Mannarino, and Alexander Zverev. Tsitsipas is 14 wins to 5 losses this season, with one top 10 win and a 62.4 win percentage on hard courts. His record at slams is 56%, with the best this season coming at Marseille, whereby he won the title. His best at the US is only a second round, however. Coric is 5-6 this year, with also the one top 10 win. He has a 50% record on hard courts and slams. He reached the semis of Rio earlier this year, and his best at Flushing Meadows was a 4th round. Lajovic has 9 wins to 7, with no top 10 wins. He has a 41.4% record on hard courts and 42.9 at slams. His best result was a quarter-final at Buenos Aires and a 3rd round at the US. Garin started the year strong with 11 wins and 7 losses with 0 top 10 wins. He is 36.1% on hard courts and 30% at slams. He has won 2 titles so far in Rio and Cordoba, with the best at the US being a 2nd round. Schwartzman has 10 wins and 6 losses this year, not beating a top 10 guy. He has a 54% hardcourt win percentage and is 58.2 at slams. His best result was a Cordoba final this year and quarterfinal at the US. Hurkacz is 8-6 this year with a single top 10 win. On hard courts, he has a 50% win percentage and 38.5% at slams. He made a semi-final in Auckland this year, and his best at the US Open was a 2nd round. Mannarino is 2 wins to 8 losses so far. He has no top 10 wins and a 45.4 win percentage on hard courts. At slams, he is 42%, making only a round of 16 in Acapulco and Montpellier. His best in the US has been a 3rd round. Finally, Zverev is 6-6 with no top 10 wins and 63.3% on hard courts. His slam percentage is 66.1, with a best result this year being his semi at the Australian Open. His best result in New York is a 4th round. My dark horse pick for this quarter is Gerasimov, who potentially has an easier section of the draw with 2 mainly clay court players in Lajovic, who he has in the 1st round, and Garin. My upset alert is Zverev versus Anderson in round 1. Zverev lost to Murray in Cincinnati and so hasn't got much match play, and whilst Anderson lost easily to Tsitsipas, he did manage to get a good 3-match win over Carl Edmund, and with a big serve is very dangerous on these courts. My popcorn match is Sock versus Cuevas, 2 guys who are known as trick shotters. It may not be the highest quality match to pick, but I'm sure there'll be some fun rallies. In the 3rd quarter, the seeds are as follows: Matteo Berrettini, Casper Ruud, Benoit Paire, Andrei Rublev, Grigor Dimitrov, Nikolai Basilashvili, Guido Pella, and Daniil Medvedev. Matteo Berrettini is 2 wins and 2 losses this season with 0 top 10 wins. He has a 47.4 win percentage on hard courts and 59.1 in slams. His best result was a round of 64 at the Australian Open, and his best in New York was a semi-final. Casper Ruud is 10 wins for 6 losses, with no top 10 wins either. He has a 27.6 win percentage on hard courts and 36.4 at slams, with a win this year at Buenos Aires, but has never reached the 2nd round of the US Open. Benoit Paire has 9 wins and 8 losses, with 0 top 10 wins. On hard courts, he has a 46.5 win percentage, and at slams, 52.6%. His best result was a final in Auckland and a personal best 4th round at the US. Andrei Rublev is 15 wins for 4 losses this season, but no top 10 wins. He has a 57.5 hardcourt win percentage and 57.7 at slams. He has won 2 2 tournaments so far in Doha and Adelaide with a quarterfinal at the US. Dimitrov has 8 wins and 6 losses with no top 10 wins, but a 61.1 win percentage on hard courts. He is 61.2 at Grand Slams, and this year his best result came in Acapulco, where he got to the semi-finals. Last year he reached his best at the US, getting to the semis. Nikolai Basilashvili is 3 wins to 6 losses this season with 0 top 10 wins and a 47.5 win percentage on hard courts. He is 47.1% at slams, and his best this year was a round of 16 in Dubai, with his best result in the US being a 4th round. Peja is 5 wins to 6 losses and no top 10 wins. His hardcourt win percentage is 42%, with it being 43.6% at slams. Earlier this year he won Buenos Aires and has reached a 3rd round at the US before. Medvedev has 10 wins and 5 losses, also with no top 10 wins. His hardcourt win percentage is 68.8% and Grand Slam win percentage is 60.6%, with a best this season being a quarterfinal at Cincinnati, and his best result at the US came last year, whereby he got to the final. I have 2 dark horses this section. They are Aliash Bedene and John Millman. Bedene made a decent run at Cincinnati, getting through qualifying and reaching the round of 16, losing to Medvedev, and so has some momentum going in and a lot of match play. Millman has a tough route to get through, but has shown he likes a faster court in the past and is perfectly capable of getting to the 4th round. My upset alert is again 2 people, Casper Ruud and Basilashvili. Ruud is up against McDonald in the 1st round, who seems to prefer a faster court, with Basilashvili being Millman's 1st round opponent. My popcorn match is Millman vs Basilashvili, but also has a potential 2nd round matchup between Dimitrov and Fucsovics, who met at Cincinnati, with Fucsovics winning in 3 sets. In the 4th quarter, the seeds are Roberto Bautista Agut, Milos Raonic, Alex de Minaur, Karen Khachanov, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Dan Evans, Marin Cilic, and Dominic Thiem. Roberto Bautista Agut has 12 wins and 3 losses, with 1 top 10 win and a 64.2 win percentage on hard courts. His win percentage at slams is 66.3, with his best result being a semi at Cincinnati. His best result at the US is a 4th round. Raonic is 11 wins to 4 losses and 1 top 10 win. He has a 68.6% hardcourt win percentage and 73.1 at slams. His best results are a quarterfinal in Australia and a semi-final in Cincy. His best result in New York is a 4th round. The Demon is 2 wins to 4 losses this year with 1 top 10 win. He has a 62.8% win percentage on hard courts and 52.2% at slams. His best result came in Acapulco, where he made the round of 32 with a 4th round appearance at the US. Khachanov is 11 wins to 7 losses with 0 top 10 wins and a 53.6 win percentage on hard courts and 65% at slams. He made the Dubai quarterfinals and has a 3rd round best in Flushing Meadows. FAA is 14 wins to 10 with no top 10 wins. He has a 51.7 win percentage on hard court and 33.3 win percentage at slams so far. He has gotten to 2 finals this year in Rotterdam and Marseille, but has never gotten to the 2nd round in New York. Evans is 12 wins for 6 losses with no success against the top 10. He has 50.6 win percentage on hard courts and a 51.7 at slams. He made the Dubai semi-final earlier in the year and has reached the 3rd round at the US. Cilic is 6 wins for 5 losses and a single top 10 win. He has a 65.1% on hard courts and 72.2% win in slams. His best result this season is a round of 16 at the Australian Open, and his best result at the US was a win in 2014. Dominic Thiem has 9 wins and 5 losses this season with 3 top 10 wins. He has a 58.6 win percentage on hard courts and 70.6 at slams. He reached the final of the Australian Open, and his personal best at the US was a quarter-final. My dark horse for this section of the draw is Tennys Sandgren, who had a decent run in Cincinnati but faces RBA in the first round. My upset alert is Alex de Minaur, who could face Gasquet or potentially Karlovic in the second round. And my popcorn match is 3 actually: RBA vs Sandgren, Murray vs Nishioka, and Sinner vs Khachanov. So, my quarterfinal picks are as follows: Novak Djokovic vs Filip Krajinovic, Stefanos Tsitsipas vs Diego Schwartzman, Matteo Berrettini vs Daniil Medvedev, and Milos Raonic vs Dominic Thiem. My semi-final matchups are Djokovic vs Tsitsipas, Medvedev vs Raonic, with the final being between Djokovic and Medvedev, and the champion Novak Djokovic. Originally, I had the final being between Djokovic and Raonic instead, but I think whilst he will have some good momentum, this week will have tired him out. He could potentially get injured as he is a big guy, and as we've seen, Medvedev doesn't really get tired. Those are my picks for this year's US Open. I'll put up the statistics for the women's seeds this year, and remember my quarterfinal predictions will be put down below. Be sure to tell me who you think will win this year. Is it someone completely random, or is Djokovic going to blast his way to victory once again? And how about Serena? Will she finally equal that Grand Slam record? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.